brother. The numbers don't lie.
Cream rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
All right, and we're back for another episode of The Cell. I am Hank Ambrose, your host, lovely or not. It's a pleasure to be with you, and we get 2 uploads this week because it's a special week. It's the kickoff for the very first PLE of the year for the WWE, and I have a very special guest joining me this week. It's the guy that single-handedly got me back into pro wrestling and has ignited my passion again. Welcome in Curt, joining us to the studio. Thank you, Curt.
Hey, you're welcome, and I'm sorry.
No, I'm so happy you did, and honestly, I can't be more grateful because pro wrestling, by far and away, is my biggest passion right now, and piques my interest more than anything else in the world right now. And it just took a little bit of a conversation, and then eventually the wheels got turning again, so I really appreciate you, brother.
Oh, dude, my pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So we are doing another fantasy booking, the second ever in the history of The Cell. If you missed out on the very first episode, I fantasy booked WrestleMania. And I know I booked it pretty early, 4 months away, but I think it's more fun when you get a sandbox it a little bit, because then you don't know exactly what's happening, and then you get to write your own narrative. And this one's a little different because we are quite literally just a few days away for the Royal Rumble, but I still sandboxed it up quite a bit because there's so many underlining things that you don't know what will happen during the Royal Rumble. And I brought my buddy Curt along to react to what I've picked up and also to hear his takes as well.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
Hey, yeah, and I will say this. I did specifically just do the men's rumble for the listeners. I let Curt know already. We can briefly go through the matches if you want. To me, I think they're fairly obvious that
I would think so.
Roman Reigns will still retain. He'll go into WrestleMania as the champion.
Yeah.
I also believe that whoever he ends up facing, whether it be Rock, Cody, or Punk, or Eugene, he'll also leave as the champion.
Hey, anything's possible in the Royal Rumble, man.
Anything's possible, yeah. And also, I don't believe they have officially announced all the matches yet. Maybe they have, but right now they just have 4 that are for certain. They have the Men's Rumble, the Women's Rumble, the Championship Fatal 4-Way, and the U.S. title match. Those are the only 4 confirmed matches. In the U.S. title match, personally, I think that it's going to be Kevin Owens that'll go over and take the title. However, I would prefer if Logan Paul continued with the U.S. title into WrestleMania.
He needs a WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get Logan Paul on the show without him being the U.S. champion at this point.
Yeah, unless it was some sort of battle royal, which I don't think anyone wants that.
Nobody wants that.
No one wants that.
No.
So yeah, I agree with you. But I don't know. Something also is telling me Kevin Owens is going to go over here. I think one of the reasons is because he has performed so well. I mean, every time I've tuned into a SmackDown, he has done so great. And they have split him and Sammy up, which kind of sucks. We didn't get to see a whole tag team run of him and Sammy. Hopefully they'll reconnect sometime soon in the future. But so that is something that is a little dry right now, in my opinion.
Sure, and he's got a broken hand, right?
Yeah.
Well done.
Or is it kayfabe?
Who knows? I guess I don't know.
I don't know. We will see. Maybe that'll play a factor in my fantasy booking.
Hey, interesting.
Yeah. So without further ado, how about we start? I'm going pick by pick here. And just to let you know, anytime you want to interrupt me, go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what we're here for.
Perfect.
30-man Royal Rumble getting us kicked off. To me, I don't think there's any other way you can start this Royal Rumble by continuing back-to-back top 2 entrant and top 2 finisher. Gunther comes out number 1.
Number one.
Okay. there was a tease, actually, this past Monday night when he was promoing against Seth in his town hall. And he mentioned that he will one day break the record again and go even longer in the Royal Rumble, which is quite oddly specific of him to say.
That is kind of like, you don't want to win the Royal Rumble. You don't want to have the most eliminations. You want to have the longest time?
I don't know how they do it in Austria, but brother does not understand the Royal Rumble. Well,
it's cumulative time. That's how you win. You're in it for the longest. That's how you win. Yeah.
That's why he's the IC title holder for so long. He's confused for sure. But yes, I have Gunther coming out number 1. He came out number 2 last year, but still broke the record, longest entrant ever in a Royal Rumble, men's or women's. And I'm not saying that he will break it. Maybe we'll get to that point sometime into my fantasy booking, but I think he puts together another strong run.
Okay.
I would also like to preface before I announce the second entrant that the theme of my Royal Rumble, because I do believe there's a theme almost to every Royal Rumble, is very faction-based.
Oh.
I think there will be heavy involvement with both the Bloodline, the Judgment Day, the New Day, the LWO, and so on and so forth.
Wow, all right.
And whatever stable you would like to call this Alpha Academy, Creed Brother, New Day connection type of thing going on. Because it kind of is a stable, or it kind of is a faction.
They're friends at least.
Yeah, they're allies for sure. But yes, Gunther, just like his second spot last year, gets things cooking. He stands waiting for who he'll pair up with first. We get a glimpse at a dream match. And if you heard my fantasy booking for WrestleMania in episode number 1, there is also going to be some correlations here. So coming out number 2 overall, Brock Lesnar.
Oh,
or should I say Brock Lesnar.
All right. The first surprise is at number 2?
Yes. Or the first, surprise return, however you'd like to phrase it there. And this is the meatiest, most visceral stare down we've seen in a very long time.
Brother, it'd be incredible.
Yeah. So these two basically have a precursor match to begin the Royal Rumble. If we're only getting 4 confirmed matches for the Royal Rumble, this is how they're going to at least pay their dues and basically throw in an extra one.
Perfect.
Because it's going to be hard-hitting. It's going to be chops. It's going to be insane in the membrane.
Suplexes. All the suplexes.
Yeah, and it's going to pay a toll on each other pretty early on with how their energy is. Not going to be playing very conservative here. And neither of these guys eliminated. I will tell you as soon as someone is eliminated, by the way, as we get to entrant number 3, and it's another big, bad mofo, Bobby Lashley.
Wow.
Yeah. After the two knock each other near unconscious, the almighty one takes the scene, but plays it more conservative, unlike his counterparts, weaning back, and when the time is just right is when he takes spears, bludgeoning both the Beast and the Ring General.
He's got history with Lesnar.
He does have history with Lesnar. Both of them amateur wrestling national champions to a degree. Mm-hmm. Now, different divisions. Brock Division 1 and Bobby Lashley NAIA. But Bobby also had the military background, so it's kind of hard to judge how he would have done in Division 1. But still, regardless, amateur national champions, the history's already there, like you said, and it's looking really good for Bobby Lashley, who not only has came out and really kicked him to the curve, but he's able to conserve a lot of energy. And waiting out for the next entrant number 4, this one, I think, is going to fly under a lot of people's noses. And this is a guy who I think is going to get a really good push this year. Ridge Holland.
Oh, okay.
Now, Will he continue to go by Ridge Holland, just Ridge? I don't know. But you know him as the guy that wears the funny hat and the least popular one of the Brawling Brutes.
For sure. That's not a thing anymore, is it?
It isn't really. I mean, they've had a falling out with him, and now that Pete is back rather than Butch, Pete Dunne is back with Tyler Bate as well. It seems as if the Brawling Brutes are over, at least for now, and they have started to push Ridge in NXT as well. Or I don't know if I want to say push, but they've given him some time in NXT to go on his own solo run, which I really like, and I think this is another great opportunity for him to do that very thing. And as I wrote, recent AWOL crusader of the Brawling Brutes finds himself in possibly the order starting position, having to face three of the biggest and baddest in the business. And he actually manages to last for a little while until number 5. And this is why we love the Royal Rumble, ladies and gentlemen. Big E returns.
No way.
Hopefully he returns. I mean, who knows? He's had a neck injury. He's been out for 2 years, I believe, now to this point.
Awful.
And this is what's interesting about the return that I wrote for Mr. Big E. There's no smirking here, no funny business for Big E. Completely serious, dead face, giving a 1,000-yard stare to the guy who took him out of action since March of 2022 and almost ending his career. That would be Ridge.
Yeah.
Who broke his neck.
It makes total sense.
Yeah. And with that, Ridge is your first eliminated superstar, heaved over via Big E, who, I mean, I don't know if he necessarily eliminates him right away, but I think some blows are thrown. But yeah, Big E gets the first elimination in favor of him, and Ridge is thrown over the top ropes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I could see that happening for sure.
So now you're at the spot where you have 4 big bad boys, Big E, Bobby Lashley, Gunther, and Brock Lesnar. And I think this is the first, I hate to say comedy spot, but this is the role he is at right now. The number 6 entrant is JD McDonough.
Oh, okay.
Who is, again, kind of a comedy character. He's definitely taking all of the crap for the Judgment Day.
Yep.
And he's been putting over some guys that probably shouldn't be put over, like R-Truth, who I love, but he's 50 years old. Does he really need to be winning opening matches of Raw in Des Moines, Iowa?
No, absolutely. Well, and also, JD McDonough is an incredible wrestler.
He's amazing. He legit beat Gunther, I guess.
Walter, yeah.
Overseas. He's awesome. And
he's real good.
His gimmick in NXT, I'm going to say something, and it's going to sound wrong, and I don't mean it the wrong way. I mean it in terms of the wrestler. JD McDonough is the next Chris Benoit.
Oh, I know what you mean. I feel what you mean. I'm going to just disregard the rest of that.
Yes.
I agree. He's
the wrestler.
One of those smaller guys that is just a buzzsaw.
He is a buzzsaw. I mean, the head, he's very physical. I mean, he played a menace in NXT, never got the championship, but, and you know what? If the Judgment Day ever break off, I hope him and Finn stay together, because I think they could make a really fun tag team.
Oh, for sure.
And he lasts for some time, at least till the next entrant, as we go to number 7, and it's awesome. The Miz taking center stage. Miz, I feel like, has had kind of a comeback to his career, and I think he deserves some love coming into this Rumble, and I think it's a good spot to put him in at number 7. He was the first eliminated superstar from last year.
Okay.
And Miz, who has gotten a lot of spotlight. He's gotten a handful of PLE pay-per-views. He's got a thing with R-Truth right now, and that can also kind of combat him and JD going at it against each other, because, of course, R-Truth hates JD, and by proxy, Miz kind of does too, because of the awesome truth. And I thought that would pair together pretty nicely.
He's got a history with Gunther too.
Yeah, and as we were talking about history with Gunther, the next elimination, Gunther does eliminate JD after a breather away from Lesnar. Hopefully, maybe starting some flares for a future WWE rivalry, because again, like you said, JD is awesome. I love JD.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
And just because he's eliminated, the second eliminated man on the roster, I don't think it necessarily means that he is buried. You know, it's just how some things roll, especially with how stacked the WWE is right now.
Well, yeah, he can have some shine in there in that little time. It's what, 2 minutes he has? He can get some shine.
Yes. Number 8, making his Royal Rumble debut, his main roster debut, sort of, Braun Breaker.
All right.
Yeah, now I know that him and the man of 1,000 gimmicks are in a tag team right now.
Yeah.
In the black and gold brand, and they are scheduled to have a final championship round in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, which is just the following weekend on February 4th, I believe the date is. But I still think that this would be a good spot to put him in, because it's time to get him at least some spots on the main roster. Carmelo has started to get some spots on the main roster, some matches. Let's debut him here at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. With all those big guys in the ring, so we can start throwing them around.
Yeah, and when you're put in the Royal Rumble, then you're not automatically shoved into brand new rivalry. You can spark some flares, like we talked about earlier, but it doesn't automatically mean, okay, now I'm totally done with NXT, because he still has some business to take care of in NXT with the Dusty Rhodes final round for the tag team gold. So yeah, that's my spot for Braun Breaker. And we continue to pile on in this ring. It's starting to really lose room, because we get to the 9th entrant, and Karrion Kross enters the squared circle.
I almost forgot about Kross, honestly.
Kross very recently has gotten the Authors of Pain back in the business, and they have slowly, very, very slowly, very rare slow burn for Triple H booking as of right now, of building this weird aura around Karrion Kross, where he's doing like this, I don't know what to call it, but it's almost like he can see into the future, if you will. Because there's been, I think, like 5 or 6 times where he has gotten his ass beat, and then he'll like basically curse. He's a lamer version of Danhausen.
If that's even possible, but yeah.
No, come on, Danhausen rules. What?
Oh, I love Danhausen, but he's clearly a joke.
But Karrion is, he tries to be not a joke, which I don't know. I'd like to see him, I don't know, get a little bit of momentum going.
What a hell of a pairing for him and Ellering, though, because Ellering's a creepy dude anyway.
I honestly don't know very much about him, just besides I know that he's in the WWE Hall of Fame. I really need to check out more of Ellering.
He was the manager of the Legion of Doom, and he had a little puppet.
Oh.
And would do promos, and it was weird, but yeah, he's mostly known as the manager for LOD.
Oh.
That's why he has the 2 big guys, Authors of Pain.
I never made that connection.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, finally, after a scuffle, we get to some more eliminations. Let me explain how it goes down first. Brock and Gunther divert away from each other after distraction from Miz. After Kross targeted Bobby, they tied up on the ropes, and from a double clothesline, Brock eliminates both Kross and Bobby. Kross then turns back to the ring and says something cryptic along the lines of "TikTok time's up," like we were just talking about, to Brock, who out of nowhere is then thrown out by Gunther.
Nice.
So again, back to the like prophecy foretold type of thing, like your time's up, and then it literally that second boots Brock over the ring.
I don't want to say it's like tarot card reader, but it's giving tarot card vibes with Cross.
It is. Actually, Scarlett, right? That's his lady. Yep. I think she legit is like a tarot card reader because I think she just had a promo where she like pulled a card out.
Nice. She definitely does ghost hunting stuff. Have you seen those on the...
No, but I want to.
Oh, they're fun.
I saw some other divas or superstars were involved. Women's superstars.
That's perfect right down Scarlett and Cross's alley. It's all spooky stuff.
Yeah, spooky stuff. Yeah. We get to entrant number 10, and it's Solo Sikoa.
Oh!
Who was, and I'll explain why, who was picked by the tribal chief to declare and stick to the game plan, right? Gotcha. Going strictly for those that pose a threat to Roman Reigns. With Gunther and Miz busy, Solo strikes Braun Breaker. Deep history with these two, finally showcasing on a main roster PLE. With Braun in trouble, the next entrance music hits. Police sirens.
No.
The big bad booty daddy, Scott Steiner, hits the ring. This may sound like a joke, but I am dead serious. This needs to happen. My number one complaint of the Royal Rumble last year is there was not enough of the old school returns. I don't care how much Scott Steiner talks crap about the WWE. His nephew, who he loves very much, is in the WWE. And I think this would set up a really fun return. It doesn't have to be long-lasting. I'm not saying this gets him a roster spot like Carlito, but I would deeply enjoy this.
Does Scott Steiner cut a promo in the middle of the Rumble?
Well, so I just mentioned that Braun's in trouble. Solo is getting the best of him. And Scott Steiner is gimmicked as hell. He is full Scott Steiner. And despite his nephew being very much in trouble, about to be eliminated over the top ropes, he still just does his badass strut to the ring.
Yep. Flex his arms outward.
Yeah. Yep. And he has the, like, whatever it is on, the, like, night garment. And
the chainmail?
The chainmail, thank you. And, yeah. So even though he's coming down the ring, he's more or less, he's cutting a promo on everyone without a microphone. Yeah.
Perfect.
And with that going on, and Miz losing his upper hand to Gunther, Big E seeks revenge for his New Day brothers who have been beaten up on by Imperium. However, he takes one step too quick and is outsmarted by the ring general.
Aww.
Yeah. Just a stab too quick, but a promising return for Big E, who may have a gimmick change, a much more serious Big E possibly in the works. We'll see. And after Scott Steiner finally makes his way to the ring and makes the save on his nephew, we are already in time for the next entrant. Number 12, Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, boo.
Second of a presumed slew of Judgment Day members tonight. He enters the ring, and just like you did right there, Curt, a big boo for them. And at number 13, it couldn't get more sweeter than the purple brand of the Bullet Club. It's Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Back-to-back Judgment Day members come out.
Yeah, that seems like something that's going to happen for sure.
And they wreak havoc on the current field. And as we get to more wrestling, the next elimination is all queued up. Scott Steiner lays out Miz after a failed attempt at skinning the cat from a Gunther throw, Gunther is gas starting to fall under the ropes, but Judgment Day, like a pair of coyotes, take out the old dog. Scott Steiner is eliminated. Doesn't last very long. Actually, I think his entrance is maybe longer than how long he was in the Rumble. Following that elimination, Judgment Day begin to cackle. Braun emerges from the background and spear shoves Dominic through the middle ropes.
Yeah, okay.
Key is middle of the ropes, leaving him on the floor, but not eliminated.
Okay. That's coming back, isn't it?
Yeah, you sniff it out. Braun does his iconic howl to the crowd and does the Hulk Hogan basically imaginary shirt rip.
Yeah.
And then at entrant number 14, Kofi Kingston makes his way to the ring.
Oh, Kofi spot time.
Kofi spot.
Gotta have one.
Yeah, and then some more wrestling happens, and then we get to entrant 15, and Chad Gable makes his way to the ring. Maybe a pairing that will help stop the Judgment Day. So while we've gotten to entrant number 15, got past that, let's have a little update to who is in the ring right now.
Okay.
Gunther, Braun Breaker, Solo Sikoa, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, Kofi Kingston, Chad Gable. So we have 7 men in the ring right now.
Where did Miz go?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's just say he was eliminated.
Okay, I was writing it down. I didn't hear Miz go.
That's a good point. I may have left out Miz, but I'm sure he'd be eliminated by some point.
Oh, Cross eliminates Miz. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Get it out of here. After some brawling, Braun gets an upper hand on Finn, looking to eliminate him, but Dirty Dom, drive-by style, runs from behind Braun's back and with a sprint and momentum, saves Finn in just the nick of time, eliminating Braun in the process. Which is something, it would basically look like the first Royal Rumble that Stone Cold won when he was eliminated and then backdoor eliminated Undertaker and I forget the other one. And then he also eliminated Bret Hart and Diesel at the same time, I believe it was. But this time, Dom would be legal in this case. And moving on to the next year. Hold on, lost my spot. Oops. Okay, so Braun Breaker just eliminated by Dominic Mysterio drive-by style. And now with a swiping cross slap, Gunther gets back on his feet and double chops Judgment Day to their back. Some momentum building. Focusing on the other side of the ring, Kofi finds himself setting up for a high-risk play with a springboard, and seconds before his setup and leap, Chad Gable has started a continuous German suplex, which bounces Solo to the ropes unintentionally, disrupting Kofi's trajectory and sending him bye-bye. So this time, basically a planned failed Kofi spot is what I've written down. Which, what do you think about the Kofi spot continuing to fail there, Curt?
It's a good thing to do because he hit him for so long. There was like 9 or 10 in a row, it feels like. And now that he's not doing so well as he's getting older, it kind of tracks. Yeah,
and I would have loved to find a way to put a Kofi spot in here. But honestly, so here's my first problem is they are really pushing this Kofi and I said Creed, not Austin Creed, Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods versus Imperium, which I really like. And I think it would be cool for them to continue to do that. But the problem is Kofi has already declared for the Royal Rumble. And I don't think you can back out if you've already declared. Otherwise, I would have loved to see a tag team match between those two teams.
Yeah, that would be perfect for the show.
Yeah. So let's pick back up after where I was just at. 1 second here. Okay, so following the Kofi elimination, Damian Priest enters as entrant number 16.
The rest of Judgment Day has entered the match.
Yes, the rest of Judgment Day has entered the match unless you are an R-Truther, and I believe he's also a member of Judgment Day.
No one's an R-Truther.
But yeah, I don't know if... I wouldn't say he's necessarily a member, especially after he cost Damian his match just this past week.
Yeah.
Hang on, there we go. Readjust here. Little half-inning stretch.
There you go.
Okay. So like I said, Damian Priest, who comes out hot, catches the attention of Gable after he threw up the thank you. Eliminating Gable with a three-way affair of the trio of Mommy's Men in the Rumble. Another ring update. 3 Judgment Day members, Dom, Finn, Priest, circling 2 fresh meat that are absolutely gassed, panting for air in the crossbeams of this WWE Death Triangle. And those 2 are Gunther and Solo Sikoa.
Nice.
And right as those 3 are circling those men, ready to pounce, music hits. Drew McIntyre.
Number 17, Drew McIntyre.
And yes, enters at number 17. Who better than this guy who maybe has the stiffest beef with Judgment Day right now?
Yep.
After Survivor Series and everything that's unfolded from there. So Drew McIntyre, again, seeking revenge on Judgment Day in the Bloodline. He must put his original feud to the side to eliminate Bullet Club Purple, as I like to call him. Drew goes super mode, ducks under a clothesline from Dom and Finn, runs the ropes, clothesline from hell to Dom and Finn, runs the rope again, and Claymore's Priest.
Yeah.
And then another elimination. Drew picks up Dom by the mullet and throws him over the top rope. Picks up Finn up by the beard, doing the same. Wow. Priest is on the ropes on the outside, slung over the top. Drew then executes a full force sprinting Claymore, sending Priest to the floor, and Judgment Day is gone just like that.
You think McIntyre is going to take out the entire Judgment Day? I
want to see it.
Well, right.
My fantasy booking.
Yes.
I think that Drew McIntyre is awesome, and he has gotten a really solid push to the top. He wants a world title so bad, and what better way than to knock down maybe the most active stable right now, all by himself. I think that it would look awesome. Drew has shined it at the Royal Rumble before in big ways, eliminating Brock, Braun, looking nasty doing it. And I think this could be a really big spot there for Drew.
Yeah, it'd be perfect. He's a big dude. He's a likable dude. He's in a really, I don't want to say it's an evolutionary storyline, but he's like really riding that line between face and heel. It's really good.
Oh yeah, and he is insane too. He is a great anti-hero. Mm-hmm. Yeah, his crazy eyes and the way his hair gets all sideways like Jack Torrance from The Shining is big fan. Yeah,
we love Drew.
Yeah. And right after Judgment Day is gone, Drew, Solo, Gunther remain in the ring. Gunther then offers a handshake for Drew.
Interesting.
Yeah. Does he accept it? I don't know. I don't think he does. I don't think it's over between them two either.
No, that was a hell of a series of matches they had last year.
Yeah. And with that continues. The fight, Solo ends up joining. And then right when we thought all the big men were done, another big boy enters. At number 18, Bronson Reed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And while we await his entrant, we see Drew and Gunther pick up a staggering Solo Sikoa. And maybe they hate each other, but one thing's for certain, they both really hate the Bloodline too. They throw a staggering Solo Sikoa right over the top rope.
Bye, Solo.
Bye, Solo. So now we got Gunther versus Drew and a fresh Bronson Reed in a big brawl.
Sweet.
And then we're going to start to slow down the eliminations for a little while. 19 through 23, no eliminations for some time. At number 19, Shinsuke enters the match. 20, Santos Escobar enters. 21 is Ivar. 22, Sami Zayn enters the match. 23, Carlito. And I didn't write out specific spots, to be honest with you. Just letting them do their own thing. I'm sure you can picture it in your head. Ivar and Bronson have a great feud going on right now. Of course, Sami Zayn with Drew starting to flare up. I really like the idea of that. And Escobar and Carlito.
Yeah, that all tracks.
After the longest time without an elimination so far tonight, there's some highlight spots. All are put over well. Let's see our next set of eliminations coming right up. Ivar and Bronson take each other out and continue rocking each other with shots outside the ring. Shinsuke then hits Santos with the miss to eliminate him, while at the same time he was holding on to Carlito, bringing him down too, as Sammy Haluva kicks Shinsuke, sending him over.
Dang.
Yeah, so we have kind of a, I forget the word, but a science project of a chain reaction, I guess is what I'm thinking. A butterfly effect. This happened causing this, that, so far, so forth. And another ring update. This time it's Gunther, who still remains from his number one spot, Drew McIntyre, and Sami Zayn. Mm-hmm. What a great stare down we have here. As you notice, Gunther has been a part of all of the stare downs tonight. He's just that good.
Everybody wants that title.
Yeah. The three begin to kill each other more, so Drew and Sami, after a recent spark of a feud, each of the three hit their finisher, downing the trio in the center of the match again. Remember when Jay sent us a video earlier this week? Jay, who was my guest on the very first episode, hating on the Canadian Destroyer moment between Orange Cassidy and I think it was Penta.
It was, yeah.
Well, this is basically what happens, but with three finishers of their own here.
Nice.
Huluva kick, Claymore, and a slap, right? Or a chop.
Well, that's what Gunther's finisher is. Gunther's finisher is pinning you.
Yeah, well, I understand that it's necessarily not, but it's to me, it's the chop.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And at entrant number 24, we have Jimmy Uso, who enters the Rumble. And this Jimmy Uso is sprinting to the ring, looking to do the same, honoring his tribal chief. Mm-hmm. Fingers up. He picks apart the three, top rope moves, stacking each other, dirty shots. The crowd gives major heat. This is very good for Jimmy Uso.
Yeah.
And just in time to save him, just like Superman would, at number 25, Cody Rhodes sprints to the ring looking to help his friend Sami Zayn.
Boo.
Now, hearing his music, Jimmy picks up Sami, places him over the top rope facing Cody, still sprinting to the entrant ramp, from the entrant ramp, and puts him in sort of a straitjacket hold, Cody pleading him not to drop Sami, in which he does. Right in front of the feet of Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn drops via Jimmy's own Samoa spike.
Dang.
Yeah. So now a stare down between Cody and Jimmy, except this is something that's new. Instead of a stare down from in the ring, Cody is still not entered the Rumble because he is just feet away from it. And yes, he is just too far away to be able to catch Sami. Mm-hmm. But stares right up at Jimmy. And to me, this also kind of symbolizes what Cody really wants, the top spot, the top prize, as he looks up at Jimmy, who stands in his way.
Jimmy in front of the WrestleMania sign, surely.
Yes, yeah. Exactly.
Yep,
read my mind there. And this kicks off a wonderful brawl, going back and forth with each other as soon as Cody enters the match. Gunther and Drew still knocked unconscious from their previous standoff, and music hits, and unexpectedly, coming in at number 26, Rhea Ripley.
All right.
Hang on now. In vengeance of her fallen stable from earlier, she takes over R-Truth's entrant.
Okay.
So R-Truth was originally slated for number 26. Rhea comes out instead, basically bringing R-Truth with her, only to hit the riptide on Drew twice, at least, for an extra measure, sends him over the top rope. She goes with him to continue the beating. The rest of Judgment Day head to the ring, but Sheamus and the new brawling brutes, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, ward them off, including Rhea helping Drew to the back.
Well, that's a development.
Yes, Sheamus returns, not to the Rumble, but with two of his friends to help out a former friend in Drew McIntyre.
Interesting.
Yes. And again, a ring update. So now we have Gunther, Cody Rhodes, Jimmy Uso in the ring. And as Cody and Jimmy continue to spar, and Gunther looks on down into the entranceway at number 27, with Jimmy trying to edge Cody over for elimination, Jey Uso's music hits.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeet.
Yeet, no yeet, yeet.
It comes in to save Cody and lays it all out on Jimmy. Cody versus Jimmy was hot. This is explosive. They go back and forth again and again in the meantime. The next entrant to number 28, it's Jinder Mahal. Which I laugh, but come on. Jinder takes the ring. With the freshest legs, he bounces all over the mat, getting some extra kicks to the head of Gunther, talking smack all around as he's doing it. All men are down besides one, and Jinder picks up Gunther. Yeah.
Don't.
Yes.
Don't.
Jinder throws Gunther over the top rope.
I don't believe this.
Gunther ends just shy of his previous record time last year. Jinder takes the top rope and taunts the crowd. Nuclear heat from the crowd, I should say.
Yeah.
You know what? Give Jinder the push, but if you're going to give him the push, do it full force, baby.
Just because he was talked about on Twitter doesn't mean he needs to eliminate Gunther in the Royal Rumble.
Let's do it. Let's piss off Nikki Khan.
Dude, I'm mad about it right now. It's not even real.
Let's do it. Exactly. That's the point of it, man. It's to get heat. It's to make you hate him even more.
I guess.
Because he, prior to 2024 starting, he was already known as the worst WWE champion ever, right?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Let's continue that heat from real life and now play it into this real story going on.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I would do anyway. At 29, can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
No.
Dwayne Johnson enters the match, and it doesn't take much for him to throw Jinder over the top rope.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers for The Rock.
So basically, right as Jinder eliminates Gunther, it's, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? And he deadpans straight over to the top of the ramp, and it's The Rock who comes down and throws him directly over the ropes.
All right. I'll take that.
A ring update, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, and The Rock.
Dang.
The Bloodline have their moment. Jay looks like he has the upper hand, and he goes for the elimination on Rock.
Interesting.
And Jimmy goes for the elimination on Cody. Seeing that in his peripheral, Jay stops right before eliminating The Rock and hurls himself to stop Jimmy in doing so.
Okay.
Jay is the good guy, and he just can't let The Rock eliminate Cody on one leg. So Jay eliminates Jimmy and himself to save Cody. Jay knows the importance of finishing the story, and after all the times he spent with his new brother Cody, this is him fully realizing his family. Brothers with Cody Rhodes.
You know what? It actually makes sense when you put it that way.
Yeah. Rock and Cody are slumped in opposite corners on the far side of the entrance. They look like they're going to be sick. And then at number 30, CM Punk.
Yeah, had to be.
The music hits. Like you said, it just had to be at number 30. This is the final three we have all been waiting for.
Yeah, it's the three that most viably have the win in their pocket right now, I think.
The Rock, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk.
Yeah.
And they allow CM Punk to enter, to do everything he wants, the clobbering time, jump into the crowd, break his ankle again, whatever. And the three end up standing dead square in the center of the mat.
Do they do the thing where they circle around and it shows the WrestleMania sign with them in the foreground?
They do the thing, baby.
The thing is done.
The WWE video game style. Did that start with SmackDown versus Raw, or was that strictly 2K?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but whatever. WWE game style. They do the thing. You got to do the thing. Come on.
Gotta do the thing.
And if you listen to episode 1, then you know what happens, because I'm staying true to what I originally booked when booking for WrestleMania. And after a wonderful fight between those three, it's The Rock who ends up prevailing.
Dang.
Cody and CM Punk are going to have to go the extra mile and take on the Elimination Chamber to officially get a spot at WrestleMania. But of course, they're going to get a spot anyway, because how could you not give Cody and CM Punk a spot at WrestleMania?
For real, yeah.
What I would predict moving forward is Seth Rollins basically laying out the challenge for CM Punk, giving it to him,
Yep.
and having Cody basically have to win the Elimination Chamber.
Make it like triple threat, do you think? Or are they running it where Rollins says, Punk, I want to fight you, and Cody's like, no, I'm finishing the story.
Well, I talked to you off air. It's been a few weeks ago now, and it really needs to be CM Punk versus Seth.
Yeah.
I would agree with you in saying, wait, maybe now I don't remember what you said about this. Wait, I don't know. Does it need to be for the belt? I don't know. But it will be for the belt between Seth and CM Punk.
Okay.
Now, Now, Seth and Cody definitely have a story to finish. And now Cody and Punk have a story that they need to start up, especially after their most recent town hall on the most recent episode on Monday Night Raw.
Yep.
But I assume, honestly, I would still continue. As of right now, I would still continue to play out my booking of WrestleMania. If you listen to episode 1, you heard me book Cody Rhodes versus Nick Aldis. I think that Cody begins to get screwed, and he plays even more into the character of Vince screwed my dad over. He tried to make him look like a joke wearing polka dot, yellow and black, and now you're screwing me over with everything. And basically a feud starts between him and Nick Aldis, which already happened in for the NWA Championship.
Yeah.
Where Nick Aldis was, I think he surpassed like 1,000 days as that champion.
He was a long time champion for sure.
Yeah. So I think putting that in front of the main stage of the WWE would be really nice. And honestly, if Cody doesn't get Roman or Seth or Punk at Mania, I don't know who else you go for.
Yeah, it's weird.
Do you really? I mean, you could have him go up against Gunther, but in my booking, I already have Gunther versus Brock.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you could probably put him up against Solo as well.
That's not really a Cody match, though.
No, it's not. And I think that I'd rather have Drew McIntyre versus Solo.
Yeah.
Especially knowing that Solo was the one that costed Drew the belt when he made his main roster debut in, where was that pay-per-view? That was in like Wales or whatever for Clash at the Castle.
Yeah.
So I think that's what makes sense. And now I think you find yourself in a blunder like, shoot, what are we going to do with Cody? And I think really the main serviceable answer would bringing in someone like a Nick Aldis or maybe a throwback guy.
Okay. Like somebody that Dusty may have feuded with, or like the kid of a guy that Dusty may have feuded with.
Yeah, that'd be great. Eventually, I'd love to see a feud between him and Randy.
Yeah, for sure. That would have a lot of story behind it.
I don't know if you start it this early, though.
It needs a lot more than 2 months.
Yeah. But anyway, that's my booking of the Men's Royal Rumble. And I would have loved to make one for the Women's Royal Rumble, but honestly, and I'll say it harshly because this is how I really feel, is they have not done a good job in the past few months at building the women's roster. They've really let it slip.
It's just Becky. Like, it's clearly going to be Becky, right?
Yeah, it's Becky is the protagonist, which I love Becky. I'm not complaining about that, but it's right now Becky is the protagonist. She's in multiple feuds. She's starting one with Rhea Ripley, which is probably going to happen at Mania. Mm-hmm. She's in one right now with Nia Jax. Mm-hmm. She just got out of this weird feud with I just forgot their name, with Bailey and
Damage Control.
Thank you. Damage Control. Just got out of that sort of thing. And they continue to put her in as this protagonist, which, again, I'm not complaining about that, but I would really like to see some more building in a feud between, let's say, Bianca Belair and someone. And honestly, there's a few things that I can definitely predict. I think something similar happens. I think with Damage Control, I think they really own the Rumble. Like you said, I think it's clearly Becky who is going to win the Women's Rumble, which would make her the first two-time winner for women's.
I believe so, yeah.
And I think that we see a handful of debuts.
Yeah, you have to, man. That women's roster needs something.
Yeah, and I think we continue to see more and more comebacks as well. I think Mickie James is a strong contender to make a Rumble entrant.
Yeah, with Aldis being there.
Yeah. So as harsh as it may sound, I'm not a fan of how they have recently tried to build the women's roster. To me, it's so simple. I mean, just continue to put Rhea in with a bunch of superstars.
For real, yeah. She's it, dude. She's the one.
Yeah. And now Roman winning the four-way to me is obvious. I think it still could be a phenomenal match.
Oh, for sure. It'll be fun to watch, but it's pretty foregone conclusion that Mr. Reigns is taking that belt to Mania. Yeah.
Why? Yeah, because why would you drop it at Mania?
Yeah. No, he's taking it for a while. He's going to keep that thing for maybe another year, probably.
Yeah. Now, if he were to drop it to anyone, it would be likely, out of those three, I mean, he'd probably drop it to Randy, right?
Yeah, but like Randy's just coming back. AJ's in the match, right? It's AJ, yes. Randy, and LA Knight?
Yes.
AJ's just coming back. LA Knight has the crowd support, but he's not a world champion to me.
Ooh.
It's got to be Roman.
LA Knight's not a champion right now, or he's not a champion, period?
I don't see him as like a world champion at all.
Yo.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Oh, well. I mean, Intercontinental for sure, but like...
Yeah.
I don't think he has world champion material written on him.
Hell, have him dethrone Gunther.
Maybe not Gunther.
All right. Maybe not.
Maybe not Gunther.
Yeah. I mean, AJ Styles getting another world title push would be cool.
Yeah, but like...
Just not now.
Behind it. There's not really...
Yeah.
He was out for so long. Like, the momentum isn't there for AJ.
No, it's not. That's why I think out of those three, I think it would most likely be Randy.
Yeah, I agree.
And he would be one away from tying Cena. No, he's two away. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
He's 14 right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that put him one step closer, though, which is probably going to happen at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I would really like to see them finish the Randy saga with him. either having held the most world championships ever at some point, or at least have him maybe tie with Cena.
Yeah.
I think that would be really sweet.
That'd be very cool.
Yeah, especially with how close they are. I think that would be really storybook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, that's my fantasy booking for the Royal Rumble this weekend. I'm going to be so excited watching this. Now, again, this was what I wanted to happen, and this is how I would book it. Are things improbable? Definitely. Is Scott Steiner going to come back? Probably not. Most likely not.
Well,
maybe.
You never know. Scott Steiner more than Rick Steiner for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good point. Curt, any other closing thoughts about the Royal Rumble? Anything anything hot on your mind you'd like to spill?
No, it's just the most fun time to be a wrestling fan is the Royal Rumble for me.
It is. And, I got to give a shout out to the friends I have that are not wrestling fans at all, who have said that they want to watch, and I kid you not, want to watch the Royal Rumble this year just because they've heard me talk about it and listened a little bit to the podcast, and then they've seen all the headlines that WWE has been in recently.
Heard the Netflix stuff?
Insane. The Rock has taken full ownership of The Rock.
So cool. Good for him.
And then good for him. And so many other things, too. So a lot of good stuff. And such a great time to be alive in this wrestling renaissance.
For sure. It's so cool, man. Wrestling is cool again, and it's just so great.
It is. And I think that perfectly gives us the 360 to allow me to thank you again for bringing me back into wrestling at the perfect time you could have. I value your friendship so much, and you bringing me back into wrestling has been one of the best things that has happened to me in my young broadcasting career. So I appreciate you, my friend.
Oh, thank you, Hank. I very much am honored and privileged to be not only your friend, but your wrestling mentor.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Curt. Yes. Okay, let the people know, Curt, where can they listen to you? Where can they follow you? What's going on?
Basically just 92 Rock down here in Fort Dodge, buddy. That's all I got going on.
That's 92.1 FM, also online at yourfortdodge.com. Make sure you listen to Curt right there on 92 Rock. Curt, thanks for joining us.
Yo, thanks, man. Appreciate it.